In this video, you will learn how to make a man respect you. 4 simple but powerful tips that you can use right now to make your man appreciate and respect you 10 times more. Respect is one of the most vital components of a healthy and happy relationship. It's actually even more important than love because when a couple experiences contempt, the opposite of respect, it's highly likely that the relationship will end in failure or divorce. That's right, contempt, which is disrespect mixed with disgust, is the #1 predictor of a relationship's failure or divorce. So if you want a happy and healthy relationship, it must be a relationship filled with mutual respect for one another. Now, you can get a good indicator of the respect in your relationship by answering the following yes or no questions. Number 1, do you feel like your partner is fully present for you? Does he focus on you and give you the attention that you desire? Yes or no? Number 2, is your partner generally curious about who you are, what you're thinking, feeling, and fearing? Yes or no? Number 3, does your partner maintain good dialogue with you? Do you engage in mutual and reciprocal conversations? Yes or no? Number 4, do you feel empowered by your partner? Do you feel that you are supported and strengthened by him? This doesn't mean that you always agree, but your disagreements are constructive. Yes or no? And number 5, do you feel that your partner takes good care of you? Do you feel that he has your well-being at heart? Yes or no? Now, if you found yourself answering no to one or more of those questions, it's likely that your partner could be more respectful towards you. And that's exactly what will happen if you use these 4 tips. Number 1, stay true to yourself. One of the most common ways for women to lose a man's respect is when they are overly accommodating and too nice to a man because they are trying to win him over. It's when they are desperately trying to please a man by liking what he likes, always doing the activities that he wants to do, and accommodating his every preference while disregarding her own. It's trying to be the perfect girlfriend, always available for him and never disagreeing with anything because she really wants him to like her. Unfortunately, this never works. These efforts actually have the opposite effect because when you do this, you're not prioritizing yourself or your own needs, and you begin to lose your self-respect. And when you lose your self-respect, it's harder for others to respect you and easier for others to exploit you. So the first step towards earning a man's respect is to be true to yourself and refusing to accept situations that are good for him but bad for you. That means that when you are faced with a decision where you have a difference of opinion or a difference of preference, you must stay true to yourself and let him know how you really feel. Here's an example. Let's say that you made dinner plans with your best friend a week in advance and he knows this, yet he calls you the day of your dinner and asks you to go out on a date. And when you remind him that you had previous plans with your girlfriend, he acts like he completely forgot or he never knew about the plans. Then he proceeds to ask you if you can reschedule with her because he has nothing to do. So how do you respond? Well, if you say, I'll reschedule with her, it's not a big deal, then you're letting him know that pleasing him is more important than keeping your word with your best friend. And that sends him the message that you are a pushover and that he is your whole life. And while he might get a temporary high from knowing that you disregarded your plans for him, it will be short-lived. A healthy, high-value man will recognize that he has become your whole life, and he will start to see you as needy, clingy, and dependent. And those are not attractive qualities to a high-value man. Instead, in this situation, you should establish a boundary by keeping the plans you had previously established. And if he pushes the issue and doesn't immediately redirect himself, then it's appropriate to have a deeper discussion to address the issue head-on by telling him that he's putting you in a compromising position. And his reaction to this will say it all. If he's willing to acknowledge what he has done, then it might be worthwhile to give him a chance. Regardless, maintaining your boundary despite his feigned disappointment is a subtle way to say that you're confident in who and what you are, and you aren't compromising yourself, your commitments, or your friendships. Number 2, never accept bad or inconsiderate behavior. That begins with having standards of how you expect to be treated by any man who's going to date you. And of course, if a man is intentionally rude, mean, or disrespectful towards you, you have no problem or hesitation withdrawing from him and moving on, regardless of how great of a catch you think he is. For example, let's say you have a disagreement of opinion, or you have an argument or conflict and he curses you and calls you a name or is intentionally mean or disrespectful. The way that you handle his behavior is going to set the precedence for your relationship. So what do? Well, first, it is important for you to maintain your composure and your temper and remove yourself from the situation as quickly as possible. You're not going to engage with him at that time. And when you leave or remove yourself, he will probably try to engage with you pretty quickly. And when he does, calmly ask him if he thinks it's okay for him to talk to you in that manner. Ask him if this is how he normally acts, and then wait for his response and explanation. If he's full of excuses or doubles down on what he said, it's time to immediately leave and go home. And this is what you should be doing at the first hint of any disrespect, and even a minor infraction. You must show him with your actions that you will not tolerate his disrespectful behavior. You must show him that you're not afraid to lose him and that you won't let anyone treat you with disrespect. So you must snuff out that flame before it becomes a fire. If you do nothing or disregard when he mistreats you, you are telling him with your actions that it's okay for him to treat you that way. And of course, it will only get worse. So you're going to confidently walk away and wait and see what happens. When he recognizes what he did, he will be apologizing and begging for your forgiveness. At that point, you can decide if you believe that he is sincere and if you're willing to accept his apology and give him another chance. Oh, and also, after you remove yourself from the situation, you cannot be the one that re-engages with him. It's not your responsibility to later contact him and ask for an apology. He needs to be the one looking for you, calling you and apologizing and trying to make things right. If "I'm sorry" is not the first thing he communicates, you must end any conversation and refuse to talk to him until he gives you a sincere apology and explanation. And lastly, if he doesn't acknowledge what he did and apologize, consider yourself lucky because you just dodged a bullet and avoided getting into an abusive relationship. Number 3, do not accept a situationship when you want a relationship. Okay, let me start with an example here. You've been dating a man that you really like. You've been spending time together and getting to know each other, and things are going very well. In fact, you're starting to feel like this is the beginning of a beautiful relationship. But when the subject of relationships comes up, he says he isn't ready for a commitment or serious relationship right now. He simply wants to keep dating and doing what you've been doing, but not getting into anything serious. Now, if you want to be in a relationship with him, you may be tempted to go along with this scenario and thinking that you don't want to pressure him and that he will eventually like you enough and want to commit to you. Unfortunately, this never works. A man can see right through that, and he knows that you are compromising your values and that you're willing to accept less than you deserve and less than what you are giving to him. And of course, this will cause him to lose respect for you. When a man tells you that he doesn't want a serious relationship, you must let him know that this situation isn't meeting your needs and that you're going to stop seeing him while giving him an opportunity to figure out what he wants. And in the meantime, you're going to date others because you want to be in a relationship. And when you handle the conversation in this manner, you are conveying the following messages to him. First, you're letting him know that you're not willing to tolerate or accept anything less than 100% from a person. You're letting him know that you deserve more and that you are showing love and respect for yourself by not accepting less than you deserve. And lastly, you're showing him that you have the confidence that you will find what you're looking for. So yeah, don't think that he's going to suddenly want a relationship when he's already experiencing all the benefits of a relationship, but with no commitment. Number 4, a snake is always a snake. No matter how often a snake sheds its skin, it's still a snake. And what do I mean by this? Well, if a man is disrespectful to other people, if a man is mean or abusive towards others, it won't be long until he becomes disrespectful towards you. So pay attention to the way that he treats service people, like waiters or customer service people. Pay attention to how he speaks to and about other family and friends. Is he courteous, respectful, and patient? Or is he impatient and disrespectful? And there are so many examples to look for. Say you're out to eat and the waiter brings the wrong food. Does he get so upset that he turns it into a scene where the manager is called? Or does he have road rage and yell obscenities at drivers who make unintentional mistakes? Does he make critical comments about other drivers on the road? Does he disrespectfully talk about coworkers, friends, or family? If you notice any of these things, pay attention. Don't believe that you will be isolated from this behavior. If he's able to be that disrespectful and mean to strangers and friends and family, one day he may be that mean or abusive towards you. Look, This type of person isn't going to be changed by your love. So if you see these things, it's best to take that person out of your life because changing him isn't going to happen.